Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. We've got an exciting show for you tonight, and I am so glad you are here with me and us. We've got a big group in here already today. This is so great to be helping us all be better RVers on our camper vans, whether that's no time, still researching, part-time, taking cool trips of days, weeks, or months, or even being a full-time traveler like myself. Now my fifth year, coming up on closing out the fifth year, starting the sixth year, which is pretty stunning when I start to think about that. Just a delight to be in your ears and eyes tonight in whatever house or van you're in, and in whatever device you're watching. Thank you for being on What's Up Wednesday, episode 152. We've got a fun show tonight. We're going to talk about gifts. It's kind of the gift giving season. So there's the gift cam. I'm going to talk about how these items have really transformed my van travel experience for the better in the last year. These are just really hot and heavy on my mind. So I wanted to share those with you. I've done some videos on these individually, and some I have yet to do, and some I will never. So this will be your big chance tonight. Let's kind of show the content for tonight. So simple gifts for van life travel is what the show is all about tonight. I put a poll out just a couple hours ago, and oops, I didn't update that. Internet connectivity and tools to explore outside your van were the two leading categories. So if this is of mind, or you've got somebody in mind for some gifts for traveling in their camper van RV, then this is the right place to be tonight. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. These are the categories I'm going to cover, and we're going to do things slightly different. I'm going to kind of dispense with the monologue. I got a couple of announcements, and then we'll get right into this tonight. So if you're showing up for this, we want to get this information out to you. You can ask me anything about van life. So there's not too much I haven't done, I haven't seen, haven't experienced in these years of traveling in my van. My Winnebago Travado GL. Her name is Miss Lily. But any topics on the table, anything's fair game. And I'm extra excited tonight because I got a brand new, I went back to an old setup on an old Macintosh, and I've got my two screens here, not using my iPad. So I'm really excited about this new setup tonight. Way more flexible. Libation Live, we are doing Coors. I just got off a cruise boat this morning, so my liver could use a break. Coors Banquet is cool to me because I actually visited the brewery. Like Heineken, Coors is only made in one place on Earth, and I've been there. And Golden, Colorado, if you've been there, you know what a cool place that is. So that'll be our Libation Live tonight. We'll see how long I last before I pop the top on that. This day in history, we got a couple things that will kind of surprise you maybe, and then Beatles. Man, try picking a favorite song from the Beatles. That was really kind of a challenge. If you want to chime in and let me know what your favorite song from the Beatles was, that would be great. See if you picked the one I did. And this is the question format that if you can help us out, that will help me see your question or comment more readily. And it looks like this. Right here, I guess it is. 3 stars, 3 question marks, and then your question. That will really help me out to help you out, which is kind of the whole point here, right? Let us know where you're watching from. Last week, I'm really happy to say we got feedback, and Saudi Arabia is now on the map. So that's our first, not Middle East, because we got Israel in there, and Qatar. But I'm pretty excited to have Saudi Arabia in the house for What's Up Wednesday. That's pretty cool. And if we got a lot of events coming up, I got a huge slew of these planned for 2024. I think some of these are just the most fun things that we do together. We do What's Up Wednesday, of course, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. But we do a roundup, as I call them. They're meet and greets just for a couple hours. Then we caravan. We drive from point to point, which is a lot of fun. It's always what's the right word? An experience. Getting 5, 8, 10 vans through an area together, and all those stoplights and all that business. It's pretty fun. And Van Breeze, those are campouts. We've got a bunch of these planned, and then the Zoom for our Patreon folks. Just go to my website. Right there's a web address and check that stuff out. Speaking of, I think it's next Friday. We're doing a roundup at The Hive. This used to be the Anchor Inn in Lantana, Florida, which is about 15 minutes south of West Palm Beach. We're getting there a half hour before they open to line up facing the lake, and then they open at 10:30. We'll go have an early lunch, and then we depart. But this has been a perennial favorite. And at one point, we actually had 3 YouTube channels present. Me, 30 and Wake Up, and Chad and Paul. And that was really a lot of fun that day. So if you're not doing anything on Friday the 15th and you want to call in sick or whatever, if you're still working, come join us. It's going to be a great deal of fun. And Zoom for December, we're going to open up to all Patreon supporters of Go Small Live Large. And normally that's a tier level that's only available to them, but we're going to do everybody's available for Christmas. So thank you for continuing your support there. And it's going to be a hoot. That's on December 9th. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. Information there. You can see that. And with that, let's get into it. I'm really excited to share some of this for you. And as soon as I get through this, so we're going to do a Libation Live. Because it'll be time for that at that point. And then we'll say hi to our regulars. I just want to kind of get this going tonight because it's been on my mind. So again, these are the content topics, or the gift topics, I guess. So this is how I'm going to do this. So let's go, and I'll do the first one. And this one is about internet and music. So let me get this off here. And what I'll do is do this and do that. So this was kind of a new item that I discovered in October at the Adventure Van Expo in Chattanooga. Now, you've probably seen me talk about this before. What I've had before is my jetpack, which was my Verizon cellular-enabled little jetpack, ran off a battery. It does a good job, but it wasn't great. The hardware itself was getting very old. And so I was looking for a solution, and I wanted something that was kind of an always-on internet. This is made for a house, actually, and it treats it like an always-on router and Wi-Fi signal in your house. That's what it's meant to be. But they were selling it at the Adventure Van Expo. And because I have a T-Mobile account on my iPad, it was only $40 a month for the service, and there was no charge for the hardware because I was an existing customer. And I can't tell you, I got that first weekend in October, and this has just changed the game. It needs to have the inverter on. So if I'm plugged into shore power, like I am here currently at home base, or if I want the internet, I just turn my my inverter on with my Volta lithium system, and it runs just like at house. And if I'm going to go to bed, then I turn the inverter off, and then in the morning I hit the inverter and it comes back to life. And I can't tell you what a game changer it is from the point of just simplicity, and the speed's amazing. And it's just been a really great piece of hardware. I'm going to do a video about this, but you'll if you're looking for an internet solution, do your shopping. Unlimited data is the key, and this thing has unlimited data. I need to look and see how many gigabytes I pumped through this. Typically in my Verizon jetpack, I had about 500 gigabytes in a 30-day payment cycle. So I'm curious to see what this is, because this thing is always on unless I'm trying to reserve the battery, and then just running off of DC direct current mode. So that's my number one thing I would recommend if you were looking for an internet solution for your van, whether you're just taking trips or maybe even your house. We're looking at getting some of these in our Airbnb properties because the internet from the house doesn't extend all the way to the back. So great solution for internet. Cool. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the music. So I'm a huge music fan. In addition to bourbon, I discovered country music on the road. And what you're looking at there on the left is an Apple HomePod. Now, this is their high-end speaker system. And then down below it is the Apple TV hardware and the remote. I'm huge on music in my van. And now some of them come equipped with like my JBL Bluetooth speaker system. The sound quality is absolutely terrible. Some of them have like an old JBL Bluetooth that's stuck to the side of the wall, like the Storytellers and what have you. Those are all good, better than nothing for sure, right? But I wanted as Apple would call it, profound sound in my van. So I actually have two of these. I have one under the table up front behind the driver's seat, and I have one in the back on what some, and I did call the Luke shelf. So there's a little shelf under the bed. It clears it by literally 3 inches when the bed is down. And between those two home pods connected to the Apple TV, I fill this van with concert quality music. Talk about movie night. It's just the most amazing thing. So again, if you're looking for a solution, now it does, then you take a look at something like what Apple has provided here. It does require the Wi-Fi to operate. So again, with the always on T-Mobile 5G gateway, now what I have is my Apple TV linked only to those two home pods, and I can switch them off to have sound go from my iPad to the home pods, but I always have that connected, the Wi-Fi to the Apple TV to the home pods, and in just a couple of seconds, I have huge amounts of beautiful sound in my van, and I really don't think I've seen that in any other van setup. So I'm certainly not unique to me, I'm sure. But again, if you are really into sound and music and big movie sound experiences, even my kind of smallish TV up here above my table with the big sound on, it just changes everything. So I would highly recommend taking a look at that if that is something on your list. How are we doing so far? All right, next one. Now, I did a video on this specifically, and I am always in search of the very next best backpack. Why? Because it helps me get out of the van and go roam around and explore, which is kind of the whole point of the van. And backpacks are very personal. In fact, when I was putting the show together today, I discovered that a backpack is like the floor plan of your van. Think through, how do you want to use it? What should go in it? Where are you going to take that backpack? And then think through how the pockets, the hook and loop things, all that will affect. Don't knock everything off, right? So when I discovered this, I very carefully and intentionally tried to think through how this backpack was, number one, better than what I had already, which was a great backpack. This one is better made. It's designed in Colorado. I would argue, I get compliments on this backpack. It's pretty cool. Just really sturdy design. Here's my Apple Pencil. Here's a real pen. Really heavy-duty zippers. And what it's done is just, again, enhance my exploration when I get outside the van. This is about $100, which I think is a steal for a backpack of this quality and caliber. Topo Designs. We are an affiliate partner, so you can go to my website, click off, and that'll get us a little tiny commission, which would be awesome. Otherwise, just go to their website, topodesigns.com. And I mean, literally, it's my charging thing here. I've got a battery bank in here. So when you're out and about, when I'm out and about, these things are super invaluable. Go find a park, go find a picnic table, find someplace cool by the stream, and put that back in later. Everything is with me. It's kind of the point. What's going on here? There it is. And then, like on the side, is my Hydro Flask, which is super great, right? Fill with water, so out and about we go. So this is a really great item. That was the second most idea requested on our survey tonight was exploring tool, and that one is right at the top of my list because it goes with me everywhere, and has everything I need. Cool. Okay. Let me give you a couple more ideas here. This one is not going to be any surprise to many of you, although there is one that is a little new-ish. And here we go. So I recommend for staying fit and staying clean, that would be using the showers, Planet Fitness and Anytime Fitness. I've been using Planet Fitness since starting way before Vanlife, really. And I've found them to be pretty plentiful. In fact, I have some statistics. Let's see. HomePod, we talked about that. Backpack, talked about that. Planet Fitness, their Black Card program is about $25 a month. Black Card gets you in for like tanning. You can use all the locations. There's the massage chairs and a bunch of other stuff. But primary purpose is working out and showering. They have 2,500 locations in the U.S. probably some in Canada, I assume. But my beef with Planet Fitness on the working out thing is during the summer they have the teens free program, and it was really kind of like a swarm of mosquitoes when I'm trying to get in there and get my thing done and get out. And the other thing is the bathroom cleanliness was not great before COVID, and after COVID, it's gone downhill. Rarely do I see a Planet Fitness bathroom. It's like, wow, this is really nice. Normally, you don't want to touch a thing. So I joined Anytime Fitness because crossover, lap over, redundancy for sure. But their bathrooms, I'm telling you, you can eat lunch off the floor, and it's private, so it's kind of a shower, toilet, sink suite. You go and you close the door, and you can do all your stuff in privacy. And again, they're really clean because the staff on site cleans the showers, from what I've seen. And the workout atmosphere is much different than Planet Fitness. People are there to work. They only have one or two of the treadmill machines. People are there to lift or do the TRX type stuff. It's a very different thing than having 2 acres of treadmills and a row of the purple machines for weightlifting. So I do both intentionally. So 2,500 locations in Planet Fitness, and there's 5,000 in of the Anytime Fitness locations, including, which we'll be using shortly, in Key West. There is no Planet Fitness in Key West. So that's why I do some redundancy, some crossover, is to make sure I have both of those. 5,000 locations for Anytime Fitness. Prices, Planet Fitness, $25. Anytime's about $60 a month, so a little less than 100 all in for both of those. But wait, there's one more thing. Yeah, this little guy was a game changer. So I was on a mission to shed some pounds in June of 2022. I was nearly 180 pounds. It was really not great. And I did a couple things, including getting a digital scale. Come on there for me. There it goes. And so what I do is every morning I weigh myself. And my target goal weight was 155 pounds. I hit that in August of this year. And I just got a cruise ship, so I put on a couple extra. But like 160, 155, I'm kind of okay with all that. By just simply weighing myself every morning gives me some accountability to this thing, accountability to myself, and accountability to not overconsume so that I'm gaining weight. Now, if I'm hitting the gym hard and I'm putting on muscle, that weight's going to go up a little bit, but that's okay. That's good weight. But this was a game changer. This I got it at Walmart. They're like $30. It measures a biometric, so it measures the percentage of fat, the percentage of water, and it gives you your BMI reading. So I put all that in my daily journal and on my Apple Notes health app. So if you're looking to kind of do some of that stuff, it's New Year's coming up and people like to talk about and do something, start this month on just weighing yourself every morning, make a weight goal, and you'll just be amazed at how it just, when you step on that scale the next morning, you're like, and now I can actually feel it in my physique when I'm not around 155, 157. It's pretty interesting. So that's something I would recommend for you. How are we doing so far? Okay, so a couple more to share with you, and this one is probably not going to surprise many of you either, because we talk about this a lot, and this is Harvest Host. Harvest Host has a 3-part program. What I love most about Harvest Hosts, it takes me to new places. What you're looking at, and this is a little older photograph, you can tell by the gear on the back of my van, doesn't even exist anymore. And this is at the Texas Air Museum in San Antonio. And if you can see the inset there, the little small one, that was the helicopter illuminated from the inside of my cab. That was my view all night long. It was absolutely spectacular. And what I like about Harvest Hosts is it takes me places I would not go typically, even a big town like San Antonio. This was at an active, this was a museum. Across the street was the San Antonio County, whatever it is, Sheriff's Department Air Patrol. And all night long, well, most of it, I would say all night long, but many times throughout the evening and into the night, the helicopters were going off to do sheriff duties from the air. And it was just so cool to see those things happening. And then I got to explore the municipal airport the next morning around the corner. So I think for me, the Harvest Host, the number one thing it's cool about is it takes me places I wouldn't go, puts me in positions of places like this that I would never be able to do otherwise. I've actually been in active like county airports. It's just been some of the craziest places. And if it's a winery, if it's a farm, if it's a distillery, you get to meet the maker. So when you get to talk to the person that's making whatever it is, I now have a better appreciation for whatever it is that they're making. So when I pick up a glass of wine, I know what it takes to grow those grapes, crush those grapes, ferment those grapes, filter it, bottle it. You know the drill, right? And it's a lot of work. And when I pay for that $20 bottle of wine, I thank them for doing what they do to keep their dream alive and help spread the love of real craftsmanship. I think that's something we could do a little bit more in America is, help the small business, the people that make stuff. So that's what I like about Harvest Host. It takes me places I wouldn't necessarily go, and I get to meet the people associated with those products. Now, there's 3 different levels of Harvest Host. This is really important to understand. Harvest Host is commercial property, like the museum. There's 5,000 locations. It costs you $99 a year to access that database of 5,000 locations. It's a commercial business, so they expect you to spend some money. Harvest Host encourages you to spend some money. So your alternatives for parking lots could be Walmart, Cracker Barrel. You're probably going there and spending money. I hope you are, because you're staying on their parking lot. So could be an alternative to that. I can't think of a single time I have made a purchase at a Harvest Host that was worthless. Jam, honey, crazy stuff. Maple syrup. It's really great. Second part of the program is adding Boondocker Welcome on top of it. This is private property. This is typically current or former RVers with some land or just some space next to their house. And it can be all over the place in terms of the type of location. Again, it's private land, somebody's house. There's 3,500 Boondocker Welcome. What I like about Boondocker Welcome is, unlike Harvest Host, which you can stay one night, Boondocker Welcome, many of them let you stay to 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 nights. So if you want to explore a town, get a little insight from the local, and not feel obligated to spend much money at a Harvest Host site, bopping around the area, then Harvest or the Boondocker Welcome part of the program is pretty smart. I use it often, especially if I'm going to be in town for a while. Many of them do not offer any hookups, so it's kind of a self-contained situation. So look at the weather. Some of them do like to plug in to their household outlet. We're going to talk about that in a second. And $169 a year for Harvest Host commercial property and Boondocker Welcome private property. But wait, there's more. Yes. For the all access pass, it's $179 a year. This is what I have. Adding to the Boondocker Welcome and Harvest Host is golf courses. And there's about 400 golf courses. So if you do the math, 5,000, 3,500 plus 500. So you're well in excess of finding a place probably by you as part of the program. Golf courses. Have you ever seen a golf course in a bad area? Generally not. Generally, the $1 million mansions are looking at you parked in the driveway. It's great. Now, I don't play golf, but they usually have a 19th hole, as they call it, kind of the clubhouse and grill. So again, just spending a little bit of money on some food and beverage, and they're fine. Rarely have I seen that they require you to play golf, and it's really clear in the comments or the description of the property if that's the deal, in which case I just pass, right? What's kind of cool is they've added some layers of information, data layers, lately to their app, which is great. You can look for a single site in a single town, or you can do route planning through their app tool. And now they have dump stations that are pretty accurate, I have to say. And they have weather and cellular coverage now as part of their app. So you can filter these things in. So if you're looking for some hot Wi-Fi, cellular, and you want a dump station nearby, that'll help you filter out which Harvest Host site is best. Now you can go to harvesthost.com and you lock in your price membership. I think they give you 15% off, or you can go to my website, Go Small Live Large, and click and get the same program. We get a small commission, which is kind of nice, and you save the same 15% and lock in your price. It's a pretty good program. Harvest Host, let me know in the comments if you're a Harvest Host member, and we'll talk about that in a minute. How are we doing so far? All right, so next thing I want to talk about is this. And this has been on my mind. I'll probably do a video about this because I've been doing a lot lately, and that is shore power when in somebody's driveway. There's a few things you need. And if you have a lithium-equipped coach or if you have a generator-equipped coach, it works for both the same way pretty much. What you need to plug into, I don't know, your mother-in-law's house, if you want to stay for a week, is you need a really big extension cord. This is a 12-gauge extension cord. I would recommend 50 feet. I think 50 feet is the appropriate length there, plus the length of your standard, I think, 30-foot, 30-amp cord that came with your RV, right? So you got 80 feet-ish to get there. And then there's a couple of adapters. Let me show you this one right out of the gate. And it's here in the gift cam. So what this is, this plugs into your 12-gauge extension cord. Really heavy-duty extension cord. They're pretty expensive because they're really heavy-duty. So that plugs into your extension cord, and then on this side is where, oops, show them this way, Scott. There you go. This is where your 30-amp cord from your RV plugs into this, and then it plugs into the side of your RV like normal. But you need both of these. You need this to make that conversion from the extension cord to your 30-amp cord. This is not expensive. I got these at Walmart. They're like, I don't know, pick a number, $20, something like that. I actually have two of them. I have this one that has some length to it because you never know when you need that extra foot. And I have one that has this on one side and then the prongs on the other. I actually prefer this one. Just it lights up so I can see that it's lit. You know, it's working, which is great. And there's a light on my extension cord, so I know that it's working. But wait, there's one more thing that you want to get. That doesn't really have to do with shore power in somebody's garage, but it's to convert a 50-amp, that's with the 4 prongs, to 30-amp, which is the 3 prongs, right? This is 30-amp, so 3 prongs. A 50-amp has 4 prongs, and they call it dog bone. This is kind of, again, what it looks like. It's on the left here. And what it does, it converts a 50-amp female plug to a 30-amp female plug on the other end. Dog bone, they're sometimes called. And I would have all 3 of those in your RV so that you can plug into shore power anywhere. And I should be able to dial down on the lithium equipped coaches, dial down the amount of amperage coming in, or amps coming into the van. What I found is that 10 amps is the perfect sweet spot for a residential 15 to 20 amp circuit that's not overloaded. And you can run your air conditioner at leisure, run your electric heat at leisure, and your battery stays charged. Some of you with the non-lithium, with the generator-equipped vans, I got to believe there's a way for you to dial down the amperage coming in. I think it's the Dimensions power control system. I'm looking at it here, but I think there's a way to do that on a non-lithium equipped coach. But consult your owner's manual. I know in the lithium coaches, they all have the same way to dial down the amps. So you're not tripping breakers on the house. So that's what I recommend for inexpensive, super practical gifts. 12-gauge heavy-duty extension cord that then converts from the extension cord side to your RV plug-in side, and then having a 50 amp to 30 amp dog bone is what I would recommend to have if you don't have one of those already. So super helpful. Okay, now these up next are, I like to decorate my van because it's my home. Everything I own, all the stuff I own is in the van. I don't own anything else, including property or anything like that. So this is all I got. So I got to make it look like home. People ask me all the time, how do I get all this stuff stuck up, on my walls and my tables, and how do you get it to stay? Well, it's kind of a 4-prong approach. Let me show you. So on the left, this is mounting putty. I found that the Gorilla brand is the best. I've been through all of them. This stuff is really, really great. It's hard to find. I would recommend you have to order it off of Amazon or Walmart.com. It's really hard to find. It's not super expensive. Amazon's like a 3-pack for, pick a number, $10 or something like that. But this stuff is the best to adhere stuff to your walls, to your tables. I use this all the time. It's amazing stuff. The other brands don't stick as well or release as well. And the Loctite, the blue colored one, actually stains. I've got stains in my, so I would recommend to avoid that one. Command hooks, we all know about command hooks. Those are super valuable. I got many of them throughout the van. And Velcro, I'm actually recommending kind of getting the, they don't have the fuzzy hook and loop. It's more of a click. I've been recommending and using these more readily, and I like it a lot better because the thing doesn't move. I know like some of the toll road box has that, it snaps in Velcro. That's what I'm talking about. So those are, all this stuff is really pretty inexpensive. And the last one I'm going to show you is on the right here. And this is a brand called Wrap It. And this is what I use to wrap my hoses when I wind them up. And I put this Velcro wrap around it, and keeps it really nice. Use it on my extension cord, my big power cord, and it just keeps it really tight and nice and neat. And all these things are under $10-12. So just great stocking stuffers for the van travel, right? A couple more, then we'll take a pause and say hello. I got some questions I see already. This is so great. And last thing I want to talk about is this one. So many of you are in winter. I'm in endless summer Florida, where it's actually kind of cool. I'm loving it. But all the Floridians are like, holy cow, it's going to be like 50 degrees tonight. And they're like running around like it's the Arctic Circle. It's so funny. But when you're in your van during warm climates or hot climates, you probably want some things that have make you more comfy. So I've got a fan, and I want to show you this. It's the one on the left, and it is, we discovered this at Costco. And the brand is Woozoo, Woozoo, Woozoo. See that? What's great is this thing, it oscillates back and forth. We all know that. It also oscillates up and down, and it does all of those. And 5 different speeds. It has a night mode. So it kind of has this, what's the right word? It changes the air speed. Vacillates, is that right? I don't know. Anyway, so it feels like a breeze. So it's not this constant flow at you. These are like $112 on Walmart. We got these for $60 at Costco. Kyle put them in all the Airbnb rooms. It's 110, right? So you got to plug it in. So you got to run your inverter. But what I've experimented with is by just moving the air around in the van, inverter on, fan on. I don't need the AC nearly as readily if it's right on that threshold of needing AC or not. And you're running your inverter overnight. So in my case, it consumes about a third to maybe 40% of the battery, but way less than it would on AC, and it's way, way quieter than the big old AC. It's really a great fan. If you can find one of these, I tuck it under my the dash. It's kind of a storage closet up there with some shoes. This has just been a great one. So I would encourage you to take a look at something different like that for moving air around. But wait, there's more. You've probably seen these, right? These are the USB fans, and what I like about these is they have the folding stand. Well, not folding, but it moves. So you can kind of place this in various things. So I use the fruit basket on the bedroom wall next to my fridge, and I point it, and I plug it to the USB port that's in the cabinet, and it makes just enough airflow to keep it moving. And it puts in a little white noise, background noise. So if you're like at a Cracker Barrel or something like that, it just cuts all that out. The Woozoo would do the same thing, right? And we know the AC will do that for sure. But I have 2 of these. One that's kind of permanent in the back there in the bedroom, and then one that I keep up here. So I'm going to move air around when I'm up here. Just moving, excuse me, just moving air around makes such a difference in the thermal dynamics of the van. It's amazing what just a little bit of that does. Excuse me. And the last thing I want to talk about is the fire can. So this is something I discovered traveling through Montana this past summer. It's a propane. That's on the left there, or on the right, sorry. I did a video about this, and I do enjoy campfires. I don't enjoy wood campfires because they're sometimes hard to light, sometimes hard to keep going. They're smelly, which is my big deal. I'm not out for a weekend. This is my house, so I don't want this thing filled with campfire smoke to permeate all my clothes and what have you. A lot of people are out for the weekend. Totally get it. But I was looking for a solution, and I found this with the gas growler. So all in, you're looking at about $500 for the fire can and that whole setup. This little guy is about $15. Hard to find in store unless you're like in Endless Summer, Florida. So again, order online, and you can probably find that and be comfy in all weather environments. Last thing I'm going to show you. So this is going to be personal preference because I'm not a coffee snob. I just like diner coffee. Just gets the job done, right? So a couple honorable mentions here, and this is my 5-cup coffee maker. Let me get this for you. And this is great because it's 5 cups, so I consume the entire thing in the morning. It's $10 or $15 at Walmart. It fits in my cabinet, and it's just fuss-free. You can do the pods, the Keurig things. You could do the pour-overs. I just want some coffee. I really don't care too much. The biggest line on the cruise ship this week was not the bar, Starbucks. It's just all hours of the day. I can't believe people stand in line for coffee. But anyway, this if you're looking for a coffee solution that fits in a standard van cabinet, I recommend this. And then this guy, I would recommend as well. This is by Defiance Tools. It's a multi-tool. And what makes this cool is they snap out like this. I need to make a video on this. I keep talking about this. I haven't done it yet. So it folds out. And it's really quite long at that point. And so now it's a poker, right? But wait. Then this side pops out. Spatula. Oh, yeah. Kind of cool, right? But wait, there's more. They snap together. So what I like about it is it's really long. It's metal. It's heavy duty. So if I'm grilling on my Otzi grill, which collapses to 1 inch thin, this is really good to stay away from the heat. And if I'm cooking over a campfire, which I've been kind of doing lately, this is great because it's metal, it's sturdy, and it's long enough to keep me away from the heat. But what's kind of cool is it's also got a big old knife in here. Which I so seldom use. I don't know how to get it out. There's a big knife in here. It's got a corkscrew and a bottle opener as well, which is kind of cool. So again, Defiance Tools is the brand, and I have discovered this at the Peace, Love, and Vans last in February of this year. They were at the Adventure Van. Just go to Defiance Tools, just kind of Google search it, and again, it's just multiple items, accessories that I had in my van. I got rid of because I had this one thing now, really well made, and I'm kind of embarrassed I can't get the knife out. That should be super simple, right? I don't want to cut myself on camera. That would be bad. I have never used the knife, so I have to plead ignorance on that one. So that's what I got for you. So again, if you're kind of looking for some gift ideas and everything from super cheap, $5 for the mounting putty, right? Command hooks. Can't have enough of those at the house. Otherwise, there's the Velcro. And again, I'm getting away from this fuzzy stuff because the item that you're sticking moves. And if you do the snap-in type, it doesn't move. And the mounting putty I just use for everything. It's just so great. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for indulging me on all these items I've been using religiously over this last year, and it's made such a world of difference in van travel. Just a simple gift. So, okay, with that, what we'll do is we will shift gears, and I will say hi to some folks, answer some questions, and let's say howdy. I think the first thing we need to do is do a libation. What do you think? Okay, so Coors, 150 years, they've been making banquet beer. Ooh, that sounds nice. Now we're using our Luckenbach glass. We're going to be camping in Luckenbach in March. So stay tuned for that. I think we got the dates already put on the website. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's see. We got some questions in here and some comments. I'm dying to see what this is all about. Where are we at? Let's see. Yeah, we want to say howdy to our friends. So here we've got Ron in the house. Good to see you. And the very first comment, the first one in tonight, was from Live Free. All I want for Christmas is a rear spare tire carrier with a ladder. Yes, sir. Have you considered Rover Vans? I am there now. They're brand ambassador, and I'm really excited to be working with them. Go to rovervans.com, and everybody, including myself, that has installed that ladder tire carrier has been pretty pleased. It saved my van, in case you didn't know, from a rear-end car crash. So Ronson held Mesa Mike's in the house. Finally got a start date on the job. Congratulations, sir. No more Price is Right for you in the morning during the weekdays. And Sherry's in the house. Always great to see Sherry. Up in Wisconsin, here's Eric. Plant City, Florida. Great to see you. Here's Roger and Jane in the house from Byron, Illinois. Great little town. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Here's Sharon, Ohio Sharon, one of our newest Patreon members. Thank you, Sharon, for being a Patreon supporter of the channel. It all this helps make this stuff keep happening online on the air. Hope you can join us this Saturday for our chat. Here's Marcia. You told me how to say your name correctly when we met at Embassy RV, but I don't want to get it goofed up. But good to see you, ma'am. A delight to meet you in person. That was so great. Here's Shelby, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Here, bone-chilling, humid 36. That was kind of like Seattle. It really does get super cold in Seattle, but it just has that bone-chilling, humid drizzle, 40 degrees, gray, dull, all day. I don't miss that at all. I'll take 20 and sunny versus 40 dull, gray, humid. Oh, God. Jane wants to know, thank you for using the format. Is one of the gifts bourbon and a reinforced cabinet to store it in? No. I've scaled weight back on all that kind of on purpose. I got other things in my closet now. Simi G, let's see, David's in the house. Thank you for Albany. Good to see you, sir. Here's Simi G in the house. Always great to see you. Sherry's got a question here. My coworkers are talking about getting my boss a good bottle of bourbon. Suggestions from this group. You probably have gotten some suggestions. I would pick how well do you like your boss? Is it a $50 like or is it a $100 like? I'd set a budget, and then I'd probably go to a better liquor store in your area, ask around. I think kind of the premium, what's the right word? So pick a big brand, like Maker's Mark or Four Roses, something like that, and then get one of their premium releases. So it's going to cost you $100, maybe even a few dollars more. It's a well-known brand. It's going to be great, and they can kind of talk about it. Or find one that's more of a craft distillery that's not going to be a known factor to them, and so you can introduce them to something different. Let's see what I got in my cabinet. That's a great question. Let's see. This is from the camp out. So, Russell, this is really good stuff. That was introduced to me by George Jack. This is kind of high octane, but rare breed wild turkey. This is about $60. Really good. This is kind of a craft. Let me get this off the page. Here we go. This is name of the distillery, St. Liberty, and this is the Mary's 4 grain. This is a kind of a high wheated. It's in a blue bottle, which is so neat. It's kind of an acquired taste. It's either you love it or you hate it. Probably. I love it. It's really good. It's really different. So that one more for you. This one I got at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. This is BRT. BRT. Love the gold bottle. I think the bottle is just as cool as what's inside. It's $56. But that's what I would kind of recommend. Either get a really special, like this, or Four Roses, something that's a well-known brand, but do a really upper tier, or find something that's really well done and not known overly. I mean, 10-year-old bourbon is pretty awesome. This is like $60. All these are about $60. So that's what I'd recommend. I'm curious to see what other people have suggested. We got Cat in the House. Literally, that's great. Fuel prices, depending on what part of the city. Interesting. Thank you. Yes. Here's David from Indianapolis. Thank you for being here. Here's Tin Can Carl. We had him on as a guest host or a guest on a few weeks ago. That was great. And Rancho del Caro. Roads of Life saying that Makers, that's always been his favorite. They have a high-end one that I discovered at the Bourbon Festival. I've not opened it yet, but I tasted it there. It's absolutely spectacular. It was like $150 maybe. Justin's in the house. Good to see you, sir. Charleston, South Carolina. Justin's awesome. Let's see. Here's MAF. Good evening from Hartford, Connecticut, where temps are similar to others, 34 and $3.49 for gas. Here's Vanlife with Steve. He's got a YouTube channel. Hi from North Florida, going down to 32 degrees tonight. You must be up, northern Florida. It's going to be pretty chilly here. I don't know where my phone is. Let's see. It's currently 59. Excuse me. And let me see if we can get the weather quick. No. It thinks I'm in Santa Fe. I'm definitely not in Santa Fe. Oh, that's why I was doing this. So you're going to be down to 56 tonight and tomorrow, 73. It's just so funny to watch the Floridians. But when it's like 80, 85 during the day and it cools down to 70 at night, 20 degrees off of that, you're pretty chilly. So I get it. And there's a wind too, which is, I'm loving it. But let's see. Here's Louisville Steve. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Mason Mike wants to know, hey Scott, do you have any videos coming out about the differences between your van travel and your latest cruise excursions? No, and I probably won't. I mean, I could. There is, I would say, kind of the overlap could be just learning how to travel small. Everything I have goes in my duffel bag, and my duffel bag is my shower house bag, so I can pack in about 4 minutes. And I again overpacked clothing, on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. What I'd love to do is, do a little research and see if we can get to a place that has a van that I could, rent for the day, something like that. If we could figure out something like that, we'd do that. So here's Adam. Thank you, Mason Mike, for that question. Hello from Paris Island, South Carolina. It'll be chilly, 37 tomorrow during our 7 a.m. moto run for our country's newest Marines. Oh, cool. Base camp ground is pretty nice. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Adam. Here's Jay Swez from holy cow, Ontario. Good to see you. Beatles, We All Live in a Yellow Submarine. That is a funny song. It's so simple. It's just great. Beatles, In My Life. There's Kelly in Fort Lauderdale. Good to see you. Come Together. You might have guessed it, Steve, for the song of the week. That's a great song. Let's see. We got Steve in the house. Good to see you. Math teacher, not hockey player. That's pretty funny. YouTube, good to see you, sir. As always, here's Frank. This is great. Strawberry Fields. That's a great one too, right? They had so many great songs. and they were not together long, right? Just 10 years or something like that. It's amazing. Yeah, Woodford is really, really good. Maybe find the double oaked. Um, that's about $80 for a small bottle, but that is a beautiful bourbon that they will love. So good suggestion on that. Let It Be. Yeah, that's a great one. David's in Chicago. Justin's got a question here. Scott, get a. I know this is far from the first one. Just says a 12-volt cigarette plug mini inverter for one of the Coach outlets, and your T-Mobile will run 24/7, same as the home pods. Yeah, I've thought about it, and you have coached me on that. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but I've figured out that the current system works for me pretty well. So what I'm trying to avoid is more things to plug in and have to deal with. But yes, that would be a suggestion. Certainly, if somebody doesn't have lithium equipped, they can run the 12-volt, right? That would be a pretty big deal. So thank you for that. David wants to know how long before you hit your head in your new van. Took me 10 minutes, done it twice. Now, a good Christmas present would be probably a helmet. I would not recommend a helmet, sir. That'll make things worse, probably. Yeah, you got to kind of, it's like a little kid. You touch the burner, it's hot. You learn that it's a hot burner and it hurts. So you bang your head on the thing a few times and you learn how to duck. In fact, maybe you give yourself a little audio cue. So when you're going into the cab and there's that, the whatever you call it here, bulkhead, this thing right here, right? Say duck. So it gives you a audio cue visually then to duck. And you'll just be muscle memory after that. A number of the things in the van, I've done that. So another tip, if you're new to your van, I think you are, if I remember right, is to get a whiteboard marker, not a permanent marker, a whiteboard marker, and write clearance right above your side of line of sight on the driver windshield, so that reminds you to look for clearance above and below your van, and even on the sides. These things are 21 plus feet long, and if you try to do a sharp turn in like a gas station, you're going to cream your van. So that's a tip. I drove around with the word clearance on the windshield, my line of sight, for probably the first 2 weeks, just to remind me to look above and below the van. Hey, Rob's in the house. Rob, thank you again. He was a guest last week. We had so many great comments from folks, how they really appreciated your story. They really appreciated all the things that you and first responders do. And you can see here that, lots of texts and calls and email support. So just thank you again for sharing your story. Not everybody's willing to do that. I thank you for doing that. Let's see. How about a sip? getting parched. That's the jingle jar. And if you're doing the jingle game, that means you got to have a little sip of your beverage when the jar jingles. Let's see. David says, no free weights at Planet Fitness. Everyone I've seen do have them. They're not as sophisticated as, I would say, Planet or Anytime Fitness, but they do not have some of the machines that I have seen at Anytime Fitness. So it's a little bit more of a serious workout atmosphere and gear, I would say, not acres of treadmills. So Mason Mike saying he loves his Anytime Fitness, game changer for workout and shower. I'm down 20 pounds since I got back on my program, sitting at 195, final goal 185. Good job, sir. It's just a really vastly different experience on a workout basis. The bathroom cleanliness is not even a, there is no contest. And the overlapping is just super important. Going down to Key West, there's no Planet Fitness, so it's shower house at the RV thing or whatever. But so let's see. We got here's Sherry saying Harvest House is great. A great gift would be a National Park Pass. That's a great idea for your $80. Senior 62 over it's $80 for a lifetime. Free access to lots of places and half camping fees at COEs. I'm not sure what a COE is, but maybe you do. That's a beautiful idea. Maybe if you're in a state with a lot of state parks, that's another great idea, is to do a state park. Like Texas got some great, Florida's got some great state parks. So bypass for that would be another idea. Um, yeah, Adam saying loves the Harvest Host, and it's not free in the sense it's a commercial business. They expect you to spend some money. Harvest Host highly encourages you, but to me, it's the places you go, you meet the people, and learn how stuff's made. That's what it's all about. Um, There's Georgia Jack. Does Harvest Host still grandfather you on the fee so that you never pay more? That is my understanding, sir. Yes. Here's Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. 80 of us in here. Yeah, this is a great group tonight. 30 thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. Thank you for that. So this is Kat. We're talking about the putty tape. The Loctite brand that's blue, I would not recommend because it did leave marks behind. I think 3M has a brand. This is Gorilla. Gorilla I found to be the best. It's the most pliable, the most sticky, the most removable. Really hard to find. You can't find it in a retail store. Except I found it once, discovered it, and I'm like, hey, let's try that out. But get it through Walmart or Amazon. Or he's saying at Lowe's. I go to Home Depot more than Lowe's, so. Stan wants to know, do you have a surge protector all the time when connecting to house power or site posts? Yes. And what Volta recommends, Volta is the maker of my lithium system in my van, is not to use one of the smart ones, the battery management system, and some of the really big ones for like the fifth wheels and the big trailers, what have you, because the Volta system has a built-in battery monitoring system, so it doesn't need it, and actually can conflict and create problems. They did a video on that. Volta did. You can go to their website and see that. Volta Power Systems, I think it is. I have a one that will, and there's a built-in one in the Volta system as well, surge protector, but I just want that little extra bit of caution. So, yeah, always use, no matter what. Totally right. Wow, Stan's picking up his first RV next week. Recommendations for a good EMS unit. So surge protector. I'd probably talk to your dealer. They probably have some degree of those. Depends on what kind of rig you get. Again, the lithium, well, at least Volta recommends not getting one with a competing battery management system built in, but they're kind of expensive because varying tiers of voltage spike that takes the hit. I think I spent $150 on mine. This might be my, I don't know, second one, third one, because one of them actually did work. It was kind of a weird deal. I don't have a good brand to really recommend. Sorry about that. Coffee, yes. Let's see. Looking for some. Let's see what else we got going on over here. We'll do this day in history. Oh, it's over the top of the hour. Holy cow, that just flies. Let me share this with you all, then we'll look for some more questions. This day in history. I love these. I love Wednesdays. It's kind of like my Friday, right? Although I got a ton to do tomorrow. Let's see, what am I doing? This day in history. Here we go. So 17 years ago, NASA reveals photographs taken by the Mars Global Surveyor suggesting the presence of liquid water on Mars. Oof, that's pretty cool. 126 years ago, London becomes the world's first city to host licensed taxicabs. Probably one of the most famous taxicab systems in the world is in London, right? They're so iconic in look. And then 531 years ago, after exploring the island of Cuba, which he had mistaken for Japan, exploring the island of Cuba for gold, Christopher Columbus lands on an island and he names Hispaniola. Good old Christopher Columbus, right? It's pretty funny. Japan, he was way off. Well, there's no GPS. How they even got around back then, looking at sextants and stars and all that, it just boggles my mind. Yeah, if you're having fun tonight, give us a thumb up. Appreciate that. We might go just a couple minutes over because I want to share the song of the week with you. and make sure we get everybody's question down. So Come Together is the song of the week by the Beatles, written by John Lennon. It was released in 1969 in the Abbey Road album. It hit number 4 in the UK and number 1 in the USA. And it's a great song. Whenever I get to a bar and there's one of those touch tune machines, this is one of the songs I always queue up. And it's just a great song. Let's see, we got a few more questions and we'll call a wrap. So Jan wants to know, do you recommend a portable dehumidifier for the van? Humidity, I haven't seen to be a problem. I did have those dehumectant, where it kind of sucks the water out. It was kind of messy. I went in the bathroom. I haven't really seen a need for it. There's a lot of wood in here, and I'm kind of in now Florida in a high humidity environment, but I just, I'm in it and I'm using it. So it's very different than having it just sit. Now, if you're winterizing, I'd probably do something, or if it's in the summer in your high humid area, I would probably do something, probably plug one in, just let it run when you're not traveling in it. It's just kind of in storage mode, right? But I think if you're in your van, I probably will have a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I just kind of monitor the humidity. I'm looking at my thing. It's 75 degrees inside right now. It's 36% humidity. If it gets too dry, it's actually uncomfortable to be in. My skin cracks and everything is static. It just, so there's a balance there, right? So maybe somebody's got some other ideas. So here's Shelby. My 2020 59G is now officially being stored in the big garage, not climate controlled. How often should I start her up? And how long should I let her run to keep the generator and the batteries good? I don't know. Some of you guys are going to be way better at this than me. I would not let that thing sit for past a couple, 3 weeks. Just start everything and just let it run for a few minutes. The chassis battery is probably going to go. If you have a place that let it be plugged in, that would be ideal, but I'm guessing not. I'm in my van all the time, so I'm not experienced in these how do you store your van things. But congratulations on having your van. That's great. Let's see. Lau's giving me coaching on my knife thing, a small metal button. Oh, yeah, you're right. I think I see it right there. Oh, duh. Thank you, Lau. Now if I can get it out without cutting my hand off. There it goes. It's funny. I have a butcher's, like a chef's knife in here. I don't think I've used it in a year. I use scissors because it's much easier in a van for me. But this does have a pretty decent blade. Thank you, Lyle. How do you know that, sir? You must have one of these. It's a great device. Oh, it's a little awkward to use for a corkscrew, but if you're in a pinch, let's see. I'll go just a few minutes over because we got a lot of folks in here, and you guys are asking, and gals are asking good questions. Bill and Joe, we had so much fun. Here's Miss Up. Hit me up for a shower stop, an hour from Key West. Yeah, I think I will reach out because we are coming, and it'd be great to see you. So Rich is talking about the Mr. Kurt's talking about the Watchdog Bluetooth remote monitoring. That's kind of cool. Surge protector. And congrats on the new house again, Bill and Joe. Got a tour of that. Was that last weekend? Man, this week has just flown by. Let's see. Oh, Moonlight Gypsy. Good evening. They camp next to me to Florida State Park. Actually headed back there. We have so much stuff I'm working on. This cruise, I always bring all the stuff with the expectation I'm going to get all this work done, and I get none of it done. So we got videos coming out. I got videos to make. We've got a bunch of camp out announcements. We got a bunch of partnership announcements. It's going to be a bang up year, 2024, and it's already December 6th. In 20 days, this whole Christmas thing will be over. Imagine that. And we're just having a ball. So I'm just so excited that you're all along for the ride. It's so great. Chris is sending on Key West. She's on assignment. Yes, that was kind of the impetus, Mason Mike, to get down there. So we're going to stay at a campground. I think we're bringing his and his RVs, and we're going to see them for sure. That is, yeah, this is Jane and Roger chiming in. I've not found a need for dehumidification while on the road. AC does a good job of removing moisture when it's hot and humid, which is absolutely true. All right, folks. So with that, I will say thank you for watching another What's Up Wednesday. We'll do this again next week, same time, 6 p.m. Central. And I actually kind of got my list of topics. Well, next week we're going to have Sunshine State RVs on. Nick's going to come on. We're going to talk about camper vans specifically, and we've got some big announcements we're going to make together with Sunshine State RVs. I'm super pumped. They're just a class act. There's only 2 dealerships I really promote. That would be my home dealer in Rockford, Illinois, Winnebago Motorhomes. The Franklin family, all they do is Winnebago brand. That's where I bought my Travato in June of 2018. Signed the paperwork, got delivery of October 2018. I've been in the same van ever since. People think I'm crazy. I'm like, this thing still works perfectly for me. And then the other one I crow about is Sunshine State RVs. They just do a superb job on sales and service. Certainly in the Southeast, it's the place to go. So they're going to be on next week. We're going to talk about a bunch of subjects, including some things we're going to be doing together in 2024. So you don't want to join us. Don't want to miss that show. It's going to be great. And if you go to my website, you can see what the upcoming What's Up Wednesday show titles are. So if you are looking for a specific title, topic, if you will, that's where you go find it. So look at this. We got a super sticker. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Every dollar matters. It goes right to the Libation Live Fund, which we then share when we get together with the Van Breeze and what have you. So I appreciate that a great deal. Thank you very much. All right, folks, with that, we will say thank you very much for watching. Journey on. And I always like to say,